Well, here's a rumour that's got Westminster whispering behind closed doors and lefty Twitter in absolute meltdown. Word is, King Charles is considering giving Nigel Farage a knighthood. Yes, that Nigel Farage, the pint-raising, EU-slaying, establishment-bothering bulldog of British politics, might just become Sir Nigel. And frankly, it's about time. Now, before we dive into the politics of this, let's get something straight. If Sir Keir Starmer and Sir Sadiq Khan are worthy of honours, despite presiding over some of the most uninspiring and frankly damaging governance in recent memory, then why shouldn't the man who led Britain out of the European Union, the biggest democratic mandate in modern British history, not be recognised by the Crown? Nigel Farage spent decades fighting an uphill battle, mocked by the press, dismissed by the political class, labelled all sorts of names by a smug, out-of-touch elite who thought they knew better than the British people. And yet, he won. Farage didn't just rattle the system, he rewired it. Without him, there would be no Brexit referendum. Without him, there'd be no Leave victory. And without him, we'd still be under the thumb of unelected EU bureaucrats dictating our laws, our borders, and our future. So when whispers start circulating that the palace is considering giving him a knighthood, it's not just a ceremonial nod, it's a recognition of one of the most significant political achievements in modern British history. And yet, what do we hear from the left? He's divisive, he's populist, he drinks pints and says what he thinks. Well, forgive me, but since when did speaking plainly become a disqualifier for public service in this country? Let me ask you this, has Keir Starmer earned his title? A man who spent the last year flip-flopping on virtually every promise he made during his Labour leadership campaign. A man who has rolled out the red carpet for illegal migrants. And Sadiq Khan, the man who's made London unaffordable, unsafe and unrecognisable. The capital under Khan has become a place where law-abiding drivers are fined for breathing, while criminals run riot with barely a slap on the wrist. Yet they get knighthoods? But Farage, the man who brought back national sovereignty and gave a voice to millions of working-class Brits abandoned by both Labour and the Tories, is somehow too controversial? It's an insult, not just to him, but to the people who voted Leave, who were mocked and ignored for daring to disagree with the metropolitan consensus. This isn't about titles or prestige, it's about principle. Because whether you like Farage or not, and many do, by the way, he represents a genuine political movement, one that rejected globalism, demanded accountability, and forced a sclerotic establishment to listen, for once, to ordinary people. Let me speak directly to you now. If you're watching this and feeling disappointed in the current state of politics, if you're sick of being lectured by elites who've never done a real day's work in their lives, if you're angry that Labour promised a better Britain and have instead delivered stagnation, weakness and higher taxes on everything from your income to your independence, then maybe, just maybe, it's time we stopped sneering at people like Nigel Farage and started listening. Because while Labour dithers and deceives, Farage leads. While others posture, he acts. And while they chase headlines, he fights for the people. So if King Charles really is considering knighting Farage, it would be more than ceremonial. It would be symbolic. A gesture that finally, the voice of the people matters more than the sneers of the elite. It would tell the world that Britain does honour courage, that we do reward those who challenge the status quo, that we do recognise leadership when we see it. Because make no mistake, the country is changing. The old parties are on life support. Trust in Westminster is at an all-time low. And the public? They're looking for someone who speaks their language, someone who tells the truth, someone with backbone, someone who doesn't apologise for being proud of Britain. You may not like it, but his name is Nigel Farage. And if he does become Sir Nigel, it won't just be a title, it'll be a warning to the establishment. He's back. And this time he's not just fighting for Brexit, he's fighting to lead the country. If you're tired of the mainstream media pushing the same tired agenda and you want real talk, real issues and real British voices, then do us a favour, like this video, hit subscribe and join the growing movement here at British Voice News. No spin, no censorship, just the truth. This is your country, make your voice heard.